What is up, everybody? Welcome to HotMakes right here on HotMakes. I'm Nerdy J. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ModBot. How you doing, man?
What's going on? I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
I'm amped up for this one. So, Daniel, ModBot,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Something like
all
that.
the above. Yep.
I'll probably forget all of that and say, hey, but you know, you never know.
I'll
But
assume you're talking to me. I've been good, man. I've been real good. Just busy juggling. I mean, I'm sure, as you know, doing all of your content stuff, but just feeling like I'm constantly juggling a bunch of plates in a China shop, you know, trying to keep everything afloat. But good. I've been really excited with some of the stuff I've been working on lately. The Voron, I don't know if you can see it. No, it's off camera, but this Voron printer that I built recently has been sort of my new like toy in the shop, and so I've been playing around with it a ton lately. But yeah, I've been doing really good, man.
So you haven't been on the show before, so I'm super pumped to have you. And I think we'll spend a little bit of time in the beginning. Let's just talk. Like I said, we haven't had you on before. And before we get too far, though, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. Oh, backward. Whoa. Backwards. So we really appreciate it. $50 Amazon gift card is yours if you win at the end of the show. So stick around with us. We'll have some fun with that. But you know, Thangs is awesome. I don't know if you've seen that we had Chelsea and Garrett on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I caught some of them. So much on there for free.
Yep.
And it's keeping people's printers busy. That stuff is insane. It's on fire.
It's so cool, especially with the Halloween season. I've got where is it at? Speaking of there, I just printed out. It's really small, but it's their Banshee pumpkin model that was over, actually right here. Yeah, I saw it like a year ago, and I was testing out the Mars 3, and I didn't feel like printing out that Rook model because I've done it so many times. So I saw this guy and was like, yes, the Banshee model. So yeah, they've definitely been keeping, I think, all of us very busy with their awesome models.
I 100% agree. And I got to say, Thangs just said, did everybody see the Geary family? What? No, I didn't see this. Someone needs to see that. Oh my gosh, Geary! If you're,
right, I'll pull it up. I'll send you a link.
Hit me with a link. We'll get it up there right away because I got to see this Geary family.
When did that Geary STL go live? Is that something new?
That was during their episode. Yeah. So
I got
a while back, Obama actually made one, which was really cool. And then they debuted this one when they were on a couple weeks ago. So this is their Geary. Cool. I just did a quick filament.
Sure.
Swap. Well, it's picking me up through the hole. That's crazy.
Of course it is. It looks great though. The eyes. What are what filament is at the eyes? It's really cool.
And then this is the base that you set it on. And
nice.
Now it's
that's super cool.
But what did I use? So this is gunmetal metallic, I believe, from Coex 3D. And then the eyes, I think, was just a Arion blue silk that I had laying around.
Yeah, they look really cool. It really pops
really
out.
What happened was it was just I have a Prusa Mini at work that I play around with while I'm at work, and I just happen to have those two filaments, so that's why the colors. But
well, they look really good. I mean, it kind of goes with the Geary colors of the gray with the blue background, anyway. So
I like it. Looks like we found it. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Now, this is gold. I don't know how I missed this. Of course, I missed a lot in September. I apologize.
Yeah, you never paid attention to me. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a reprogramming. All right, I got to share this real quick. Yeah. So while we're sharing the Geary family, you'll have to check out Geary. It's on Thangs. It's free. And I can't get enough of the stuff that they're doing. And everybody out there, I mean, there's some awesome people throwing some totally free stuff out there, which is so cool. All right, let's see what we got here. This should have been like the hotter.
Oh, nice.
But let's go see. This is Local Maker Michigan. What was that?
This should have been the only thing the show was about.
Yeah. Hey, you better be careful. We have another bot on the show.
Yeah, we'll fight. That's awesome looking.
So this is Mom, Dad, Geary, and the little sister. Let's pop this open. Yeah.
Your mama.
Yes. This is so good. With the mustaches and oh man, this is amazing.
Nice gold wedding bells.
The gold looks really good too. Kind of got like a steampunk style to it.
Yeah.
I think they all look wonderful. You did a great job.
Great work, yeah.
Are the eyebrows part of that model that you were holding up, Jim? Or they are, right? Okay.
Yeah. So the eyebrows and the eyes, and he was adding everything else.
Mustaches and all the other like bows and stuff. Yeah, that's super cool.
That's awesome. Nice work. That is so cool. You know what? I apologize that I missed that now because I didn't even see it. I mean, Facebook was down. No, I'm just joking. That was Twitter. But today Facebook is down, so there's that.
And Instagram, and I think
WhatsApp.
Yeah, everything, all the three.
Yeah, exactly. But so now that we went way off track, but I love it because I did not see the Geary model, and I'm so pumped that you know someone said something because I definitely missed this, and now I'm hoping you put that. Let me know in the chat. Did you put these STLs out there for everyone to grab, or was it like your own personal collection? Local Maker Michigan. I'm pretty sure he's watching. So
it would be kind of cool if they had for the Geary, kind of like Mr. Potato Head with, you know, the different body parts you can kind of stick onto him. That's kind of a rad idea, man. So everyone can have their own flavor.
So on board with it.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah. maybe an idea for like a contest or something like that. Who can do the, you know, Geary different versions of them.
No, that would be awesome.
Sounds like a Halloween contest. You can dress up Geary.
Yes, dress up Geary. I mean, why not? We dress up the Pooch Rock. I mean, the Pooch Rock has his beautiful hair
gosh.
still.
I haven't seen the latest rendition.
This is this is the sassy Pooch.
He looks amazing.
But anyways, you know, like I said, we haven't had you on before. So first of all, I mean, we're already like 10 minutes in or whatever, but let's start with like who you are, what you do, where we can find you, that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, one, thanks again so much for having me on. I've been a fan of the show for a long time. The kind of premise behind highlighting cool things that other people are doing is something that I'm just a huge fan of because I spend a lot of my days just kind of browsing, trying to figure out like what are people up to, and there's so many different people doing just like awesome, inspirational things. And so showing off the cool, you know, things that are coming up every single week is not only really awesome, but also a huge commitment on your part. So again, I'm really excited to be on here and think that this is a super cool weekly stream that you do, man. But yeah, I guess a little bit about myself. My name is Daniel. I run the YouTube channel ModBot. I've been making videos on YouTube for probably about 9 years now, but I got into 3D printing in 2014. And ironically, Chuck, who was last week's guest, right? I think that's what you said, but he was one of the first people I met in the 3D printing scene because we both had the DaVinci 1.0 printers. And so I've known Chuck for quite a long time now. And originally, I got a 3D printer for a specific task that I had no idea that I was going to fall in love with it, become more than mildly obsessed with it, and that would be the direction of the next 6 or 7 years of my life. But yeah, I make a video. Right. Yeah, it's insane, man. It's like one of those things where I thought it was really cool and got bit by the bug like so many others, and here we are. Guilty. The rest is kind of history. So but yeah, I right now I'm doing a video every single Saturday up on the ModBot YouTube channel. This is this creation that you can't really see is the streaming card I've been building because I'm in a really small spot. And so this whole thing can just go out of the way when I'm done with the stream. And so I do plan on doing some live streams and things like that. But yeah, most of what I'm doing is just showing off cool stuff and doing my best to help out either people just getting into the space by showing them how to use their printers and different tips and tricks, or some more advanced stuff, because there's so many directions you can go with 3D printing that it's very tough to just stick with one element of it, which I'm sure you're also probably familiar with.
Yeah. Well, and I think for one, congratulations on the growth. Your channel,
thank you.
I mean, it's exploding. I think
very
if I remember right, like in the beginning of the year at some point, you were like 50,000, and I saw like what today it's like 65,000. That's so good, man.
I think we're almost at 68, 69,000
nice.
now.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's insane. I think, I mean, I don't really, I'm thankful, but I don't exactly know why. Like, I've been doing it for so long, and it's like all of a sudden, I think the biggest thing is really consistency. Like for anyone else that's making content, I've always been just kind of, let's throw out as much as we can. And like some months over the years, it's a lot. Other months, it's like, where'd he go? And so this is probably the 91st week in a row where I've just not missed a Saturday video. Like that is number one. I get my videos done. And so again, I'm really, really happy with the results of it and all of the new awesome people that I've been meeting. And yeah, it's just so fun to be part of this ride and this community with just all of these different things that are going on, man. So I'm I'm just stoked that I get to talk about things I enjoy, and there's people that like listening,
I'm with you. And I don't know if you're like me. I fall into this, like, I work on videos, except for September. I apologize, everybody.
Yeah.
But I work on videos where I get like, kind of focused. And then when you're realizing 2 or 3 months later, you're like, I don't print anything for myself lately. I've just been doing
totally
video.
happens. Yes, it goes in like kind of waves, where I'm printing a lot of stuff, and then if I'm not testing out a printer or testing out a new feature, like they kind of sit, and I'm trying to get further away from that and more into printing things like more so for myself. Like functional printing is definitely my jam. I know for a lot of people, they're not as exciting or glamorous, but like this pegboard back here is just waiting for all sorts of 3D printed accessories. And so I'm really trying to continue to use and 3D print all the time, because you're absolutely right. There's moments of time where I'm like, man, I've just been talking about 3D printing for the last couple of weeks. So like, I'm not doing that much printing. So yeah, I've been guilty of that for sure. I think that it just kind of happens, whether you plan for it or not. So,
well, and I've been playing, there's some videos coming up, soon, but I've been playing with this little 1/24th scale rock crawler.
Sick.
And these things are super capable. They're so much fun to play with. And then I started thinking, like, what can I print? And there's people out there designing stuff. So there's a stand to keep the wheels off the ground because they're so squishy, they'll flatten.
Yeah. The wheels. The wheels will over time if you have all the pressure. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because they're very soft. And then I, it kind of took off from there. I printed some parts for underneath. I printed some more stuff. And I'm like, well, this is kind of, my wife is like, your hobby might take over your hobby. And I was like, well, hang on. One pays the bills and one doesn't. But at least the cool thing is now I can start crossing that over.
Totally.
And, hopefully pulling some of the RC crowd, and we have a bunch with us already, into, 3D printing and vice versa. And I'm not going to say what they are yet, but today at work, I ran on Tinkercad because that's the most CAD I know how to do.
Sure.
And I can successfully print a plank. Yeah,
nice.
That's right. With 2 holes in it. And that's about it. And so thank you. So I printed a bunch of these to test out, kind of like beta testing something I want to build.
Cool.
For something larger that I'm in the process of building. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But what's fun is that you can sit back and you're like, oh, I need a Xbox Series X controller holder. Someone already made that. Cool. Pop it on the wall, because you can just throw it on your printer. And
no, it's super cool. Incorporating it with like things you've already got. And it's funny because Greg just posted from Greg's Maker Corner that he sees himself printing a lot of things for his printers. And if I'm not printing for videos, it's like I'm working on another printer build, and it's like, on top of my printer, just more printer parts, So nice. It's funny that you think you get the printers to print out things, and you end up printing out just things for your printers. So that's definitely I think anybody that's in the 3D printing space at all is also guilty of like knobs and upgrades and stuff like that. So, but with the mention of the truck that you're, that truck that you're kind of incorporating accessories on, that is one of the coolest ways to do it. Is if you've got something that you already like how can you customize it or kind of add 3D printing elements to it? So that's also something that I've been trying to kind of do some more stuff with. So I'm excited to see, because although I haven't really been very involved with RC in general, I think they're awesome. And like quadcopters or drones in general have been always like, it's on my ever-growing list of things to explore someday in the future. So it'd be cool to see just kind of what you do with that, because I know that also with drones, there's a lot of 3D printed versions and upgrades and add-ons and stuff like that. So
there's a couple people,
awesome.
Let's see. A couple people that do a lot of drones in the chat, it looks like right now. And I'm trying to remember if anyone has the fully printed one. Greg or I don't know if Zolan's here.
Greg's definitely big on drones, because I posted my pegboard and he sent a photo of like all these drones lined up there. So I know he's a drone guy. Nice.
Tripods in the RC. So nice. I got the bug. I don't want to get off on this RC tangent, but oh man, it was end of August. So before I left in September for a trip I had to go on, but I don't know why. I just got this bug to get an RC car. I haven't had one since I was like 14 or something. And I went out and got an Arma Vortex that's hiding on the floor over here. 55 miles an hour out of the box.
Damn. Gas then, right?
No, it's electric. It's brushless electric. And they're
That's
stupid
insane.
fast. It is, especially when you haven't driven a car in that long. But when they're fast, they crash hard.
It's dangerous.
So then, that went on this tangent. All of a sudden, I have printers, but I wanted more trucks, so I traded a printer for 2 more RC trucks.
Nice.
And then, it was like a snowball, right?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I saw this, and I was like, "Wait a minute! This is a tiny crawler. I could crawl anything on my desk or whatever with this. It's not a big car." And that kind of sucked me in, and it's the opposite of fast cars now. It's not very fast at all, but it's awesome. But I would highly recommend never getting one unless you want to be like super involved, because all of a sudden the first time you drive it, you're like, this is amazing. I have to do this.
In a former life, I worked at a restaurant and in a bar, and in the bar there was a group of guys that came in, and they were big RC guys, and they would come in, they'd talk about the RC cars, they'd show them off on their phones and stuff like that. And one of them told me that if you're into the RC ones, especially like the one you described that goes like 55 miles an hour, you also have to be into the repairing of them and working on them, because it sounds to me like it's some driving, but like a lot of tuning.
A lot of tuning, but remember, the faster they are, the bigger they crash.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, you hit a curb or a tree, going 55 miles an hour, and it's bad. Most of the time. So, but I mean, that's half the battle, and the fun part about it, just like 3D printing, the fun part about it is modifying them. So then, like, okay, I broke this arm. What out there, is aftermarket? Then you go down that rabbit hole, and it's like, you better have a disposable income, because it gets pretty stupid.
Both I'm sure Angus and RC Lifon both have done, I know of like variants. Like I think Angus did like one with crazy wheels, and RC did one where he was able to do like wheels on water or something like that. So like there's some super sick mods for RC cars, man. Where I could see that being a slippery slope where you kind of get sucked in and it's just never ending,
And both those guys are, I mean, like geniuses. Like Angus is his car creative, with all the crazy wheels that people submitted to him is so phenomenal. Cool, and RC Lifon, one of my favorites, like the stuff he comes up with, stupid. I mean, like I just watch him, and his thumbnails are phenomenal, by the way.
Well, he lives in Sweden, and that's where my family's from. All my mom has actually moved here from Sweden when she was 19, and so all my family lives in Sweden, and so I haven't gone in years. But when I was younger, I used to go to Sweden for 3 months at a time every 4 years. So I've been in Sweden for about a year of my life, and like it looks like where my grandparents live, where it's just like country, trees, and water. And so for me, it's like both. It's epic too. He's got the Swedish accent thing going on, so it reminds me of family. Like it checks all the boxes for me, man. But yeah, his creativity is just like next level, man. I really, really enjoy the stuff he comes up with. So it's always exciting seeing when there's a new video on some crazy project he's working on, like that surfboard, thing, and all the different stuff he's been doing. Super cool.
Well, I mean, and you put out some awesome projects too. So I know lately you put out some cool projects. You want to talk about any of those?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, lately the biggest thing, again, like I mentioned, the Voron on my table that's been consuming me has been the Voron 0 or 0.1, and all the things that I was hoping it would do for me, it did and more, which was really push myself as far as like what I'm doing. Like I've gotten so used to, the Creality type machines where you just bolt down top to the bottom, you do a quick little paper level and you're up and running. And so I haven't really done a full build since back in like the ANET A8 days, or, even earlier than that. And so it seemed challenging. The Core XY element of it has always been something where I'm like, I've used them a bit, but like, I don't fully get the whole motion system. And so I think that there was points in the build where I felt that I had bit off more than I can chew. Like I was frustrated. I mean, if you saw the video, but I made a video following up on it. It was mostly me talking about my shortcomings in the build. But as I kind of like persevered through each challenge, man, like it just was so rewarding. So yeah, I've been playing around a lot with that, and I'm actually working on building a second one. So the whole like Core XY clipper with like the input shaper, and what's the other thing I'm missing? Input shaper and linear advances. But all of those things that come along with the firmware basically has been sucking me in. And then there's also a few other things that I am working on as well, kind of behind the scenes. But yeah, I definitely the last month or two has been majorly that. And then I really want to play a bit more multi-material / dual extrusion is something that I've done a little bit. Like I've got an IDEX machine up here, but I haven't done a whole lot with it really in some time. So that's kind of the next big thing I really want to spend some more time on. But there's been so much goodies coming out lately, man. Like in terms of, releases and teases and stuff like that, where I'm just like, oh, like I can only get something keeps my focus for a while. And I'm like a squirrel, dude, where it's like, okay, what's over here now, So, but yeah, I've been busy, and also checking out some of the more like advanced settings and slicers is something that I've really wanted to dive into, both for myself to get really a better understanding of what tools are at my disposal that I might not even be aware of, but also to kind of shed some light on them for others, just so that way, hey, if you're running into this issue, maybe this kind of weird hidden feature can fix that for you. So it's a bit of a juggling act, man, for sure, of like just, again, the different categories that I really like to touch on. But I've been enjoying it a ton, and I'm really hoping electronics in general is something that I've always been fascinated with, but I don't have a background in it. So I've been studying a lot more on things like Arduino and just the basics of like some of the electronic elements to sort of hopefully incorporate that into future projects. So
that'll be awesome.
I'm really, maybe I'll make a RC truck of sorts, man, as a project,
There you go. So I tell you, next year at Murph, I know a few of us, we want to print spool racers. So we want to like you've seen Chuck and Pooch.
Oh yeah,
epic
I've
battle,
seen
right?
I've seen the shove, man.
So the showdown. So we actually want to print bring printed spool racers.
Nice.
Down. So with the CR30s and some of the other belt printers that are coming out, that'll help that considerably. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I highly considered. I've seen a couple people do it, but making a go-kart. Making a motor for it and all that stuff. Hey, all the rules say is that it has to have spools as wheels.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say anything about motors. It doesn't say anything about it, So,
I'll be concerned with Pooch going into Chuck's cart. I think they might have to have helmets at that point, man, or something, just to be careful. But I know that, a combination of like Joel had done the OpenRC, like the massive one, and then Chuck did also the Stemify, I think is the different blocks or things like that, where they did sort of a cart. Maybe some sort of like a hybrid between some of those types of things can make it. But
that's what he was thinking. He was thinking, I wonder if I could just expand, like blow up the Stemphy blocks to make my own cart. And I was like, that's genius. I have 2 CR30s. I have only one unboxed, embarrassingly enough. And I need to, what I need to do is get with Pooch, because Pooch is turning into like the CR30 guru, like upgrade wizard, and and he has some like super awesome ideas like on how to scrub down your belt, the upgrades for the I'm thinking he's using LDO motors.
Yeah, right? the red aluminum things I've seen.
Yeah. Yep. And then he's using a linear rail and like all sorts of cool stuff. And I'm like, I need to get a hold of him. The worst thing, like hardest thing for me on that was transitioning, because I never had used the slicers for this before. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm used to, Prusa slicer. Well, they don't have belt capability right now. So, and I don't
ask you what your daily driver is. So Prusa slicer is what? Gotcha. So Prusa slicer is your daily driver, typically.
Yeah. Okay. That's normally for me. I used to do Kira, and then I tried Prusa slicer one day, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is, for me, but everybody loves Kira because it's what you get into when you first start.
My daily driver
everything is a reskinned Kira. You know what I mean?
Repetier, I don't know if you ever used it, but like Repetier Host was actually in 2014 the first one that I ever used. And then I used it because it's sort of one of those things, right? Like you get familiar with something and it's like, well, this works so well for me, I don't necessarily want to relearn it all. And so I used that for about 2 or 3 years, and then it had really fallen behind. And somebody kind of laughed at me when I showed them I was using Repetier. And so I was like, what do you mean? Like it works good. And then I tried Kira and sort of fell in love with that. But I have been playing a bit more around with Prusa Slicer, and there are some super cool features coming out. And so I do think at least knowing your way around 2 different slicers could be really positive. Again, for this scenario, you need to use Kira a little bit. So, but yeah, belt printers are fascinating to me, and I've been drooling to get one in here, and I think I might have one coming. But Pooch, like you said, man, Pooch seems to be just the mounting them on the wall and all the upgrades and stuff. Like he's just really got it figured out.
I wish I had wall space. That's like I want to put mine on the wall. I just don't have space. Where in the country, like whereabouts are you located?
I'm in California.
Oh, you're in California. So you're on Pooch time. All right.
Yeah, I am on Pooch time.
That.
Yeah.
So I have one that I'll be beta testing, a new one coming soon.
Nice.
And then I didn't hear about the other new one yet. The one that looks very similar to the CR30, but it's not
the smart one. Or,
yeah.
Or, okay.
So it has like a ton of really cool features built into it, and I was looking at it going, "Do I? Don't?" You know, and it's like you probably know, to the point where like I have so much stuff I haven't filmed yet.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I really should, because it's going to be awesome, but I don't know if I should, because I don't know when I'll get to it. But
there's boxes right here. There's a cubby right here. Yeah, I've got, man, my laundry list is so long of just things that I'd like to do or that are, you know, somewhere on there. So I've really, I'm very much so a kid in a candy store still with 3D printing, where like, I'm like, ooh, like I got to try everything. And what is this? And what's that? But I'm trying my best to limit myself, like portion control. And it's very difficult, but I've been guilty of just taking on too many projects and then like, you know, overdoing it a bit. So I do understand with what you're saying, where it's like, you know, this looks amazing, but I've already got so many really cool things that I'm working on that like, maybe I'll put it on the back burner for now and see if it makes sense. I mean, you've already got RC cars going on, man. You can't, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Like Lindsay told me, she's like, your hobbies are going to take over your hobbies. And of course, you know, I have too much going on. So I'm like, all right, you're right. I got to behave. And then I have to start saying no. You know, I to be honest, I love getting the printers, but if it's the Ender 3 clone, I've already seen 17 of them. You know, I think a lot of people feel like that. They don't want to see the same old Ender 3 again. And
I'm slowly getting there, man. I'm slowly getting there. I think that my tolerance was much more because it was still so exciting to me compared to what was there when I got into it in 2014. But there have been a few lately where it's like, okay, like it's the exact same thing with a $20 difference in price. Like it's no big deal. There have been a few things where some people still call them clones, and like, well, there's some improvements to them, but I will say, like, compared to building this like Voron 0.1, like the level of excitement I've gotten from this is substantially higher than another Creality clone or another Ender clone or something like that. So no, I totally get that. Which is why, again, like belt printers or Core XYs or like these other ones, like they're starting to get real fascinating to me, because it's like, all right, it's the same old song and dance over and over again with a lot of these other ones. So I think it's a pretty mutual feeling that's kind of floating around the community, man.
I think so, yeah. Well, and that's, like you said, it's just fascinating. And, you know, that kind of is a great segue. So we have a Maker News, you know, segment today. And I want to jump into that from here, because that's a perfect segue. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do some Maker News.
Why, you're right. It must be some sort of plastic.
So a couple days ago, Prusa debuted a automated print farm in Dubai. Have you seen this?
Yes, I haven't seen, unless there's something new. There's not a video, right, yet of it?
I haven't seen a video. I didn't dig, but I haven't seen a video. So I pulled up this article. Was right from their blog, right? Yep. And, you know, I imagine the community. Let me make sure my comments are, because I want to see the comments on this. Let us know what you think. But I mean, this is awesome. So they pretty much have like a full beta farm in Dubai right now, and it consists of, if we scroll down, it consists of 34 new Core XY original Prusa printers. So I like that he goes on and says, like, this isn't the XL, but it shares a bunch of the same parts. So I liked when he said that. But what was cool is like 34 Core XY original Prusa 3D printers, fully automated. I mean, is he competing? Is he trying to compete with like you said, Boron or something? I mean,
well, so I read this and was like very excited, because again, compared to what he's done, which is a ton of things, like this is way different. This is completely different territory. And so I have so many questions, man. So many questions about the different sort of, he said, server rack style machines, but also I didn't see details. Did you see details as far as how they're being ejected? I didn't see whether it was a robotic arm or whether it's some sort of like a flex bend or push system like that. That I didn't see either on there.
I believe I thought it or at least said in here. We'll look. Okay. But I mean, I want to comment on how awesome this looks. For one, they're cubes I like the fact that it says they're fully hot swappable. So if we go back up here, it is right here. They say it's kind of similar to a server rack with hot swapping capabilities. When a printer needs a service, you just slide it out and put a new one right into place. And it's like, now, I mean, that's pretty awesome. And then I think, let's see, you can obviously scale it to anything you want. Different options right here for unloading the parts. So that's interesting.
Gotcha.
Let's see if it shows. Let's see what this picture. It doesn't really show it unloading anything, but
they look gorgeous, man. I mean, the colors, it looks so futuristic with all the different like light.
So
the light bars are totally just there for a dramatic effect, and it works so
well. Of course, yeah.
It works so well, though, man.
I mean, let us know. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I think, for one, I gotta say this. So I love the Prusa, I'd say firmware, but the interface. So I wish that more companies would dive as far into it as they did, because really, I mean, like from the wizards you set up with, everything is just like spot on, and it's kind of like Apple and Android, right? So Prusa to me is like the Apple, where they have the whole ecosystem, and then everything else is like Android, where there's a bajillion of them out there. They work awesome, but it's not all the same. You know what I mean?
A little bit more of the Wild West.
Right. And well, I'm an Android fan. That's what I use, and I love my other machines. I only have the Mini, and that's cool. Thanks to Loyal Moses. Actually, it was a Christmas present at one point. I think not last year, the year before, maybe something like that. And I absolutely love the Mini. But I was just blown away. Like I've seen some new printers come. For instance, the green one that's right here from a popular company. You know, I won't. It's a little spot. We're just gonna say.
Okay.
It's a 747, and
cool,
I, you can throw different print heads and everything on it. I just want the firmware to be
as
tighter, like the Prusa. I mean, it's because it could be a super. I'm so backwards today. It could be a super capable printer. No, you're good. It's not going to help. Oh, thanks, Gary. But it's super capable. It's just I want that much more out of it, right? For the price, especially. And I think these weren't going to be cheap. I think if I saw something, it's going to be. I don't think there's exact pricing out there for these yet, but I want to say something around the $3,000 per printer plus a service contract. That's what they're aiming for.
Not cheap. I mean, again, it also there's a lot to it. Like, for example, with what you just mentioned, Voron, and I do think that I can go on a rant, which I won't, but like I think that the Core XY is definitely going to be a huge direction a lot of printers go with, because I'm so used to printing at like a safe 60, 70 millimeters a second, but it's like
right.
On the Voron, not even tuned, I'm doing 150, and it's like the prints are beautiful. So it is insane how tight these Core XYs are able to run as far as precision and speed goes without negative kind of artifacts. But the price point might sound steep, but then again, you have to think of the building that goes into it, like a Voron 2.4 or whatever, which is a Core XY machine. Like even the cheapest kits, if I'm not mistaken, are between $1,000 to $1,400, and that's not the best components necessarily. So take that, but now have someone actually have to build it, make sure it's ready to rock and roll. If that's the way these are coming, turnkey. Right. Which I don't know what they are, but if it's like an enterprise solution, I would assume they're probably turnkey.
They've
and the price seems
fair
to me, man. Yeah. It seems like that's what that seems like a fair price.
100% agree with you, and I don't think they're not aimed at us. They're aimed at the businesses that want to put out. They're aimed at Pooch, who has 25 Prusas, MK3s or something, right? But like they're aimed at the bigger companies that want to put a very high end, farm into place. I mean, with their service plan, they're saying with the service contract, with the quality control and stuff like that, I totally understand the price. And it takes, I mean, I've seen a ton of you guys' streams out there. Greg has a couple. I know you have one. I can't remember who else has a Voron in the chat that I'm watching. But I mean, sometimes these are a lot of hours of building. Oh, and
that's an understatement, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, days, man.
So, but I mean, it's just amazing, what they're going to be able to do with this. I really hope that, it takes off for them. I think that it'll be a really cool thing. And I don't know. Anything else you want? I know I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I just thought when I saw this, I was like, we have to show it.
Super exciting, man. I know that, people have been talking about a XL for a long time. And like, I actually have to say, because you said you've got the Mini, I actually don't and have never owned an OEM Prusa printer. And I'm a little bit embarrassed, man. It just never kind of fell into my path. And I almost about 4 or 5 times now have pulled the trigger on a Mini, but just because I want to be able to kind of get the feel for what that whole thing's like. And so because of how long it's been out for now, I'm kind of like, do I wait till the next generation of it? But I am really excited to see what this does. And I think that once they've tested this out in this sort of more farm enterprise environment, it'll give them a ton of real world feedback to then take it for the XL they're going to be sending out to individual people. It's a really good stress test, if nothing else, for it. Put it in a real world environment and see, does it perform the way they think it will long term,
Right. So, well, and if you check it out, this last one is the last thing I wanted to touch on this. They're actually doing snowflakes. So they have a touchscreen interface with that uploads prints to the farm, right? And there's a little app that you can create a unique snowflake and then have them printed in their fluorescent PLA. And I think that's such a cool thing that you can walk up to this farm and be like, let's do this, and then it prints it for you. It must bring it towards them because they got to get it, right? So I just think that's such a cool idea. I really hope it takes off. There's there you go. There's like a bin of them, I guess you could say. And I really think that like the technology is just amazing. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see the XL. But if you have, I tell you, if you can find a Mini, you can find them in like Marketplace sometimes. And
definitely
I
thinking about it.
honestly don't know if I would have bought one, but Loyal Moses generously, got one for me. And I tell you, I'm blown away. Like, this little stuff at work, and it's
Totally.
super fast too. I mean, in my opinion, but at the same time, I never would probably purchase an MK3 because I have an Ender 5, or probably I would put my Ender 3 against an MK3 all day. Just because I have enough stuff in it.
Totally. Yeah. It's also like, I think, if you're willing to put in the time into a Creality machine and do the upgrades, all metal hot end, leveling, or whatever you want to do, you can make it real intelligent. But if we're talking out of box, somebody that just wants to, build it, or it's already pre-built and just to, run it, then it's a fantastic option. But I'm kind of in that same boat. While the Prusa Mini, on the other hand, at the price point it's at, makes more sense to me. Is like, okay, this is now we're in the same boxing match, where it's all metal hot end. It's got all of the great things along with the whole firmware like you described. So I kind of feel the exact same way like what you just described. I don't know about the actual MK, but the Mini has definitely got some attractiveness to me.
Well, it's and everyone thinks like, oh, it's little, but the Ender 2 was little. They have an Ender 2 V2 all of a sudden. By the way, that's
looks
a new
gorgeous.
thing.
It looks cool, man.
It does. It really
red
does.
And black.
And the other thing is, though, like most of the time, I don't print giant stuff.
Yep.
I have a few big printers that print little things, So.
Yep.
But one of the things about it, like you mentioned, like out of the box experience wise, it's just like I said, it's like Apple and Android, right? Out of the box.
Night and day.
Apple, you have their service and all that stuff behind it. And then Android, you can do whatever you want to these things because that's what they're meant to do. so
it's completely different, man. The Creality printers, you open it up and you're looking at this photo and you're like, this photo does not align with what I have here in front of me. So like you have to do that little bit of sort of like backpacking across the uncharted lands. But luckily the community is so damn big that you've got, somebody that's done it for you. But totally, man, Apple and Android is a great example.
They actually listen too. That's one thing I like about Creality. If you watch like the evolution of the printers, I got into it around the Ender 3 time, and people said, "Man, we want to upgrade. We're going to add these things." Well, all of a sudden there was one with some of those things on it, and then the V2 had like everything. Well, a lot of people already upgraded too, right?
Yeah,
so
all of the
cool.
like tensioners and like the different like knobs and stuff like that. Yeah, they definitely they do listen, which is fantastic because you're who better to get feedback from than your customer. The ones getting the product.
The only we'll move on from the Creality. Okay. We could dive into that all day, but we have some HotMakes here. You mentioned you watched the show, so I'm super pumped to get you to see some of these and share them with the audience because that's why we're here. We're HotMakes. I know we're talking a lot, so we already burned 40 minutes, but that's okay. We're gonna rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Here's some HotMakes. So we're going to start out tonight with Pooch's son's 6th grade animal cell science project. Have you seen this yet?
It's insane. It is absolutely
it's
insane.
Pretty awesome. He did it on an MK3S, imagine that, with Pooch's slicer and assembled it with 3D gloop. And I'm just going to play this video here so everybody can check it out. But it's such a cool idea. You know how you have the iris eye in the center there. It has the part inside of there. Of course, all the stuff around it. So cool.
To me, the coolest aspect, granted, there's so many variables in here that are awesome. The one that it's 3D printed, there's all these different colors and that he assembled it. But the fact that it also says that he used Tinkercad to sort of design it while designing, like you said yourself, that, you know, again, I've heard you say it before on here that like designing isn't your jam. Like you do a little bit of it. So to have someone at such a young age as him, like doing some design work and, you know, when he's getting a bit older, it almost being second nature. Like this is impressive. Like this is really impressive, man.
It is. What's crazy is they're and it's amazing. They're starting at such a young age playing with this stuff. I have a niece that's 11. Oh, maybe she just turned 13. I don't know. She just turned 13 if you're watching. But she has a CAD class. And you know, they have a 3D printer, and she's like, if I design stuff, can I come print it? And I was like, absolutely, I'll give you a printer if you want one. We can make that happen. But she was super excited because she can design stuff and she's learning how to do that, and she really wants to, you know, actually print it. And I'm just like you said, they're starting so young. By the time they're my age, they're gonna be like,
we don't know anything compared to what they'll know, you know.
Right.
I actually a couple months ago had an extra printer that I had like put up locally, and the person that actually ended up coming to get it was a 7th or 8th grader, and he said that he's in a local engineering, you know, class thing at his middle school. And I'm like, dude, I didn't pick up a 3D printer till I was, I think, 22 or something like that, man. You've got a decade on me, you know? So it's incredible. Like the next generation of, you know, 3D printing enthusiasts or engineers and just all of that is going to be so much better off as far as knowing this stuff than we are, you know?
Right.
It's incredible.
Well, and the next evolution of printers, I think, you know, as they keep evolving and going forward, it's going to be like, I mean, so much has come out of the last couple of years, even.
It's insane.
It is insane.
Resin printers, for example. I mean, dude, when like I remember when I just talked about this recently, but like when I saw my first one, and even now, dude, it's insane. You can get a tiny box that can make something that's that high resolution, and it's so quick now. So I'm just giddy about like what 3 or 4 or 5 years from now looks like as far as what we've got in our garages. You know,
it's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here, what do you got? Oh, Steven, the Lightspeed. You know what? Showing off his Lulzbot 747, the same one I have over this way.
He's getting great print quality off of it, man.
He is dialed in on this thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. If you see any of his stuff though, that's how he is. He dials his stuff in. I'm very sad that I believe he just sold his Artemis, which is amazing, but he's also building, I believe, a Rat Rig 500 right now.
Oh, nice.
And the thing is enormous. He said he needs a ladder to work on it. Like,
is that the build volume? I'm assuming. Is the 500?
Yeah.
Jeez,
yeah,
that's insane, dude.
It's sick. So, but his you know, the quality that he is getting is absolutely phenomenal, and this is what I expect. This is for the price that you're paying, over $1,000, you know, for it. It has to print like this, you know, and you know, I printed some things and I do think it looks good, but I need to, you know, dial it in like this. This model too is the slice hot end. I 100% agree.
Super cool.
I have I got the one with the mosquito hot end on it. It has the Bondtech, you know, extruder on there, and 100% agree. Greg just said, I know Greg has one too. That he's so impressed. But I just, you know, the quality is awesome. And Steven, this print is phenomenal, by the way.
The model is really cool too. I hadn't seen, like, I think it's Clockspring, right? The creator of this one, or am I mistaken?
Let's see. The Glugger, by Clockspring.
Yep.
Just want to make sure.
It's cool that it like makes like a glugging sound. It's really bizarre.
So you can't you can't hear it.
Yeah.
But let's see, actually, maybe. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but probably
not on my end.
But it makes like a glugging.
Audio.
What was that?
You didn't share audio. We can't hear it on.
I can't. When I share the whole window, it doesn't let me.
Gotcha. It is really cool though, if anyone looks it up.
But yeah, I love the sound. And check that out, Steven. Nice work and phenomenal print. Clock Spring is the man. He does some awesome work. What do we got next? 3D Print Bunny. Have you been following her tensegrity stuff?
She's a legend, dude. It was like every 24 hours in my feed. It started off with like, oh, that's pretty cool. And like, that's insane. And then she's a wizard with these things, man. 18
hours on this one, 0.3 layer height. Popped off the bed, and this is awesome.
That's so cool.
Happy Halloween, and I love the color changes. I believe it was color changes. I'm assuming. Has to be right. I'm looking at that.
I think so. Yeah, it looks like it's hard to tell because of the front shot, but I think that it's probably paused to get the spiders black and like kind of orange.
Yeah, that's so good though. I mean, just such a phenomenal idea when she took off with the tensegrity stuff, and now this one is my favorite. I think this is my favorite.
It's a very cool Halloween decoration. Like, I mean, not only is it a sick Halloween decoration, but it's a really cool thing to show people. Like, yeah, this was 3D printed because it's kind of not just like an inanimate object. Like, it can wiggle, it can move, and it's doing some magic. So it's very cool.
Super talented. Cindy Poole just said super talented. Yes, and it was she said it was filament changes. So that's, I mean, I absolutely love this. Check out her stuff. If you haven't gone, I believe it's Patreon she does stuff on. Let me know. She's in the chat, so let us know. But I'm pretty sure you can get like some just awesome stuff before everybody else if you join. And keep it up. I don't know what she's gonna do next. Like
she released a tutorial. I think I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure a couple weeks ago she released a tutorial showing how to kind of make your own design. Should you want to make your own custom? I might be wrong, but I'm almost positive that she sort of shared a bit of her magic, which is really cool. But the stuff she's been doing alone, like she did, I think, a benchy one with like a wave that moved too. That was
that was so good.
Yeah, they're rad, man.
The shoes cool. She made, I mean, like, oh man, so good. Nice work. This is phenomenal, and happy Halloween almost. We got a couple more weeks, but this did you see this?
No, dude.
This is Simon or I mean, is it Simon or Simone? Sorry,
Simone, yes.
Yeah, Simone.
I'm pretty sure it's a yes.
And
awesome,
this video was phenomenal, by the way. But in the video, she's sitting in a bathtub and she has this little tiny bathtub that she prints and then like puts her thumb in there. I mean, like it only was a second in the video, but that's just awesome. For that second, she had to print this tub, and all that stuff just for that second. And such a good video. If you haven't seen this video,
I haven't seen the video.
It's all about a table. Let's see if we can kind of show it off a little bit here. So she can have a regular table, and then it actually slides open. Let's see if we can see it. There we go. So it slides open so she can do puzzles and stuff as well.
Oh, nice.
And just a cool idea. And at one point in the video, though, Dan saw it, that she was in a bathtub. There it was. She's in this little bathtub, and she's putting like bubbles in the bathtub, for the bathtub shot. She said, "I'm nothing if not dedicated to my jokes." There you go. So then she put her thumb in there, like
oh my gosh.
And that's it. That was the whole,
all that for that, right? It is 3D printed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And it was just
the bathtub
awesome,
is not her thumb.
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, that would be a cool 3D printed thumb too. No,
I thought it looks like a hot dog. I thought someone threw a hot dog in a bathtub to make it look like.
I'm staying out. Nope, I'm out of that one. I'm way out of that. Man. So good though. There's so many jokes. I'm sure we're gonna get them in chat right now. But the video is awesome. If you haven't seen the video, definitely check that out. Don't forget. You need to sign up if you want to win $50 to Amazon courtesy of Thangs. Hit that link. It's been in the chat all night. It's in the description of the video. Also in the description of the video is a Google Doc. You can go there, check out episode 73. This is episode 73. And you can find all the stuff we're showing tonight as well. So check that out. If you haven't seen this video, go check out that link. You have to see this video. It's such a good job she did. What do we got next? Tripods Garage. So using his Comgrow laser, and he's doing ornaments. So
super cool.
Yeah, he made this little, I guess you could call it a jig, right? He made this little spot where he could put his ornaments. I like jig. Jig's a good word.
Yeah.
And he does the there we go. He does the engraving on the ornament, and then if we scroll down, you can see that basically he was, it looks like he was burning the paint off with the engraving, which is so awesome.
Super cool. Yeah.
And then he threw some lights, or he's thinking about using some lights from the tree to light them up, which is, classic ornaments. You got to do that.
It's crazy to me that he was able to, because I think it looks like it's a diode laser. And I know I've seen where with CO2 lasers, they've used like anodized aluminum to remove that coating. I think it's what like 3D etcher. I'm sorry, that might not be his official name, but what he's been doing with a lot of extrusions. But I was really surprised that it had enough power to do this. But this is such a cool idea for like custom family and friend Christmas ornaments, man. Like it's just such a unique thing. And it looks great. I was shocked with the curved surface that it looks like the details stayed really good throughout the whole entire paw. So it's really great job.
And I believe he said lost a little power during, on the edges, but that's just because you're going just a little bit out of focus because of the the curved ornament. But
really good though.
If you're doing it safe, and you're watching it and you're careful, these lasers have come so far. I have a few of them, most of which have not been on the channel. Only I think a couple have actually been on the channel right now. And
tiles, you did tiles, didn't you? Epic tiles, man. I remember that.
Actually, I've done tiles, and I just put it over there right before the show. But one of my favorite things is that scratch paper. That's like a coated black paper, and you can scratch it.
Yeah.
You can burn those layers off and show whatever, like the rainbow or the silver or whatever behind them. But ornaments and all sorts of cool stuff. And he's just showing off one of the really cool things you can do. With these things, if you have ornaments laying around. Now remember, to vent this, because you don't know what coating that is. Who knows what the paint is, and you always vent. You don't want to be in the room when that
safety
happens.
First, for sure.
I think I have to say that, right?
It should be a disclaimer. Definitely.
But I know there's a lot of controversy around these things, and they're becoming more and more safe. So if you're doing it right and you're careful, I use mine in an enclosure. It has like a fireball in there, and in case something happens, it would it'll put it out. But just don't do it in your living room where you can walk in and blind yourself, because these things will. I mean, that will blind you.
Last I checked, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because I'm in my living room. And you said
nice. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
But great work, Tripod Sean. That's awesome. Nice. Yeah. Glad that you got into lasers, and I hope you're loving it. And let's go. All right. I know Geary's yelling at us in the background. Like it's 5 till already.
I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah, you're yelling.
I'm not yelling.
I think he's yelling.
I love it.
Is it better to be feared or respected?
Yeah. This next one, I don't know if we can actually open because Facebook is down. Let's just go see.
No,
Oh, it does open. Okay. So this was a group, Star Wars room builders that Chris Travis chatted at. And I believe he wanted us to check out the group. I'm not sure, Chris, if you're watching, it didn't take me to what you tagged. So it took me to this. I'm not sure if we're supposed to check out the whole thing or just this piece, but that's pretty cool. $5
million mini airport. Oh, I bet you most of it's 3D printed, or like a lot of the elements on it.
Maybe this is what he did. You know what? I bet you permalink. Yeah. So it did take me to this. So this is a 5 million. It took 6 years to build. Holy mother. 15,000 lights? This is awesome. Tell me the plane takes off. Tell me the plane takes off. The plane took off. This is so cool.
I would just invite friends over and sit down in the lawn chair and just watch my mini airport, man. So
miniature
cool.
Wonderland. I might have to dive further into this.
Oh
my. This is...
It's insane.
I don't even
looks
know
like you can record,
here.
like, imagine stop motion using this little town. You can make like a full series.
I mean, are they magnetic? I mean, what's driving the cars? Or the little planes? And stuff?
That's a great point. I was wondering if there was some sort of, it wouldn't make sense. I think RC would be too much interference, right? With so many different little things going on.
I've seen some videos about this. There's like mono railway communities that use the same technique. There's like a track with a magnet underneath the pavement layer, and then there's a magnet on the vehicle.
Nice.
It's incredible.
This is so cool. I'm gonna have to dive. Thank you so much, Chris, for bringing this to our attention, because I need to dive into that deeper. So I'm gonna check that out. I found a new group to be a part of, so there's that.
Oh, great! Another hobby, man.
Know, right?
Crap.
Yeah, but nice work. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that to our attention, because I would have never seen that. That is phenomenal.
That's sick.
Last but not least, Filament Librarian needed everyone to see this adorable pumpkin that the partner made. And hope it makes you smile as much as it did for me. Happy October. So that is it was crocheted, right? I believe.
Yeah, it looks. Yep,
that's the right word.
Super cute.
Man, I can't crochet. Have you ever watched? You ever see Brandon Ferris?
What
comedian?
what's his...
He does a lot of YouTube stuff.
Maybe doesn't ring a bell offhand.
I think if you look up Brandon Ferris, like learning how to crochet or something, I have not laughed so hard. So that was like the first video someone shared with me a couple years ago, and now there's a ton of stuff out there. But Brandon Ferris crocheted. You guys won't disappoint. It's so funny.
Wrote it down too.
Oh, Ed C says we had one of them in New York for years. It's a replica of LaGuardia. Nice.
That's so cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine not only the work, but just like the thought of, it's not just making things smaller, but making it all work together, with that whole magnetic system and all the lights and stuff. Like, it's next level. It's so cool.
It is. Nice work. And I love my wife can do a lot more of this than I can. She does hats and all sorts of other fun stuff, but a pumpkin is pretty cool too. I like it. Thank you for sharing that with us. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll learn to crochet, but
yeah, there's so many different things, but I do think it's amazing. Like, I've seen some very, very cool, like different Pokemon ones that were custom made and things like that. They're really cool. And this one's adorable with its little smiley face.
That was so good. Nice work. Filament Librarian, by the way, it has some awesome stuff out there too. I think it's time. We got to give some stuff away. I'm just checking out the spreadsheet as we talk. Last chance. You got about 1 minute to sign up if you want to be eligible to win a $50 Amazon gift card, courtesy of Thangs. I gotta love Thangs. I was looking for parts today, and I love searching things because it's like searching everywhere.
Very, very fast. It's compared to me like using older websites that like were really slow or buggy, or like you search something and you're like, why is this coming up? There's no relation. Like, it is very, very fast, and I'm happy that they are constantly working on things. Like, I know they in the last couple of weeks I think implemented where you can search the actual creator now, which I think should have been there, but it's nice that it's there for sure. But yeah, they're constantly making it better, and like the AR is super cool, and like there's definitely some very unique things about the platform. But the speed, to me, like it's reliable, which is to me the most important element of it. It works, and that's what I want when I need to search models.
100% agree, and I like that you can find things from all sites too. I like that you can search from geometry. So you can search by geometry if you're just like, hey, let's print a circle today. There's a bajillion things you can print that look like a circle. Today, I was searching some fun stuff, and I don't want to give it away because I have a video coming soon. But it was interesting. Some of the things I found, I was like, I don't know where they got it. It was like the segue. I searched a word, and like a whole bunch of other stuff came that I would have never associated, but it used that method to create the other thing. And I don't want to say the word out loud right now, but
it's feeding your snowball.
Yeah, it's pretty much the addiction ADD thing. Like you jump into thing and it's like ding, 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 squirrel.
Totally. I'm always like, why do I have so many tabs? Like, oh, that's right. I wanted to come back to that later, and I wanted to come back to that later. So I can relate to that. I need to print out the toaster oven that you created a while back, or it was Clock Spring, right? I think in combination that did the torture toaster oven. I've done a lot of resin stuff lately, but I have an FDM printer I'm testing out, and so that has been a really cool looking model that's been on my list. So I'm gonna.
You got to try it now. You got to do the fastest torture toaster with your Voron. I'd like to see that. I mean, they take a minute to print, so I'm curious. I'm curious how fast you could get it and still have it functioning and not broken. That would be cool. Yeah. We did like a size contest, but we never did a time contest. Maybe we should talk to things about that, because that would be a lot of fun. Bring it back for a minute. So last chance, everybody. I just want to throw it out there. I'm just checking. We did have a couple of last minute people jumping in, so let me grab them while I'm grabbing names. A couple of quick announcements. Let's do some announcements today.
Okay, listen up, everybody. Turn up your volumes. Announcement.
Attention, we have an announcement. Attention, we have an announcement. Oh, what was that? Yes, Mom. Yeah, okay. Mom, I'm doing a thing.
Mom, I'm doing a thing. I think I surprised Gary on that one. Quick announcement.
You sounded like you were jumping right into it. I didn't.
Tonight, of course, Dan, ModBot, I don't know, whatever you want to be called there. It's so easy to call you ModBot.
The dude. Yeah, ModBot's cool, man.
the dude. He's still on my couch. But tonight, next week, Joe from, you know him from Makers on Tap, now with Lightburn. We saw him at Murph with a sweet selfie-taking robot, along with his new milk crate CNC. So he'll be on with us next week. So that's the 11th. The 18th, stay tuned. We're going to have superstar David Hewlett back on the show. So that is going to be a phenomenal time. He's always just an amazing orb of energy every time he's on. And I love talking about projects if we can talk about them. And then the 25th, 3D printing nerd Joel Telling will be here with us as well. So this month is going to be another awesome month. And, it started with you. So we definitely appreciate you coming on.
I'm stoked, man. I'm just really happy we're able to make it happen. And again, this is something that I'm happy to be a part of, because it's just highlighting what people are doing that's super cool. And I think that there needs to be more of that. So it's a great thing. And again, huge fan.
100% agree. And I really appreciate that you like the show. I hope everybody else does too. And, given the comments, I think they do. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, what does it say? There's 74 entries. We're going to spin this bad boy in 3, 2, 1. You can hear that now, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Groovy.
Christopher Maschek, congratulations. I'm hoping you're still with us. Starts while I'm talking. Brian Vine says starts torture toaster 10 hours later.
Oh, exactly. Man,
it's such a good test.
I have some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Christopher Maschek is not taggable.
Uh-oh.
Wait, he's here.
Nope, he's here.
There he is. Yes, I am here. Nice. Congratulations, a $50 gift card to Amazon, courtesy of Things. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thanks for Things for sponsoring. I really appreciate that. We really appreciate that. Congratulations, Christopher. One more time before we go, Dan, why don't you tell them where we can find you? It's in the description of the video, by the way. But
yep, sure thing. Oh, did my camera cut out?
Oh, I see how it is. The end of the episode. Now you're going to go all Chep on us. That's so good.
Did the camera cut out? It did.
Yeah. It looks like.
I'm back.
There you are. You're back. Did you climb a mountain?
Sony. I've never used a Sony camera. Apparently, there's like a 1 hour limit, and then it decides to turn itself off. So,
oh no!
Sorry about that. That's so funny. Yes. So you can find me over on the ModBot YouTube channel. I make a video every single Saturday, and then I did create a secondary channel called ModBot Army, where I will be doing live streams, and hopefully the camera will stay on for those live streams. But I'm really excited to start doing a little bit more of that and kind of hanging out a bit more and showing some of the things I cover quickly in my weekly videos in more detail on the live stream. So yeah, ModBot channel, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me, or Twitter, I guess, is a good spot as well. So yeah, thanks again, man, for having me on. Really, it was a good time, and there's some really cool stuff to go over.
Nice. Well, we again appreciate you coming on and hang out in the background. We'll be right back with you. Everybody else, thank you guys so much. Another Monday went by. We will see you next week where we bring on Joe. It's going to be every time they're on, the Makers on Tap guys in general, but Joe is just a blast. We're going to have some fun with Joe next week too. So come on and join us next week, 6 p.m. Central. We could say 4 p.m. ModBot time. That actually works this time.
Yep.
But everybody else, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for watching and spending an hour with us on your Mondays. And we will see you next week, everybody. Bye.